I guess it really started with me was when I was at a young age, just from hunting and fishing out here every day. That's all we do. You know, everybody wants to go pro and has that one little dream, and I just kept it with me for a while. And once I got to college, I started the B.A.S.S team there, and it was almost every weekend I was fishing somewhere trying to learn something. And I stayed at it. I fished all 5 years through college, and I was able to make the Elite Series that year I graduated. So I went straight to pro fishing right after college. It was either going to Nichols or LSU, and I kind of depended on wanting to stay at Nichols just because it was close. I'm a family guy. I love being around my family a lot, and I didn't want to move out yet. We all mean a lot to each other, and I think just staying there around Nichols, it ended up working out. I got to stay around my family, and I also got to start a B.A.S.S team at Nichols. Yeah, that's all these pictures, and we ain't got one picture. We are at the rec center for Nichols. This is where I spent every day at, actually. Just skip class a lot, come work out, you know. My first couple tournaments, I learned quick that I needed to learn quick too, because they didn't cut you no slack at any tournament. They whooped your butt if you didn't catch them. So I wish every person could have a family like mine. I think they only missed one tournament this year. You know, it's like, oh, like you're older now, like why are they still coming? But it's just what they love to do. They love to travel now. I don't get to really see much of that city part of it just because we're fishing every day, and so they get to see all the stuff that I don't get to see, and it's cool talking about everything, and just I love them being happy getting to travel. When it happened, you know, I think it was like the day before Christmas, they called and told me like after staying for months, you know, yeah, we'll be good next year, like not 100% for sure, but it should be. There's no reason not to. And then they decided, they had new people come in, they fired a few people, and they changed their marketing aspect and went to NIL deals, and it hurt me. You know, I was the first one to probably get cut from the deal, but it happened like that. You know, I have nothing against them. They helped me out for a couple of years doing that, and just because it happened so late, I was not able to pick up anybody else. You know, everybody's like, oh, we already did our budgets for next year, and it just wasn't working out. So I was kind of talking with my family and everybody, and we're like, what we're gonna do? And they're like, you know what, just do yourself, like do TR Fishing as your title sponsor for this year and see what happens, you know. Let everybody know who you are, you know, and don't give anybody any space that they don't deserve. So I put myself up there and go out for the first tournament, and it worked out in a great way.
Tyler Rivet is an Elite Series champion with 77 pounds and 2 ounces. Raceland, Louisiana's Tyler Rivet.
Oh, got him. Oh. Let's go! Woo! I knew what I was doing was different from everybody else for that tournament. Going into the tournament, you know, I've never been to Okeechobee, and all I wanted to do was just punch and frog. That's all we do down here in South Louisiana. You either punch and a frog, and if you want to win a tournament. So being able to go there and do the punching and frogging techniques like I always wanted to, it just didn't work out. I was able to catch a few, but they just weren't there, you know. I wasn't confident with the conditions we were having, and just everybody. I hate fishing around people, and there were so many people in there. In that first day of the practice, we went in a canal because it was like 30 or 40 mile-an-hour winds out there. It was crazy. So I just went in the canal, just, you know, trying to catch some sockeye and catch some dinner. And I kind of backed off the banks after seeing all those party barges and stuff, crappie fishing, I guess, or speck down there. I was just starting to scan around with the live scope, and I started seeing these big blobs, and I was like, man, just from experience, I knew that was bass. The way they were swimming and the way they were sitting up on that there was like a little drop off right there, and that's where they were sitting. I threw that jerk bait first cast, caught like a 5-pounder, and went down a little ways, caught like another 4.5, and then I got to that point of the canal where that little drainage ditch came out, and I seen them sitting there, and you know, I couldn't reel my jerk bait fast enough to get it away from them, and it was like 2 of them over 6. I caught one, I let it jump off at the boat for practice, and then they had a couple more swimming with it that I saw, and I was like, man, I feel like it was a fluke. I feel like it was just the way the conditions were that day, that the wind was blowing, this and that. Like, I didn't think anything of it. We're gonna win this tournament. If I get this fish in. Woo! Yeah! when I was idling out that first day, which is cool. I had that video on social media I put up of I didn't have a Marshall the first day, so I had the GoPro, and I was actually at that spot. I caught one little one, I think maybe, and I was about to leave to go into the lake. I fished about 100 yards down, 200 yards down, and nothing. Put the trolling mower up, and I was about to go. Like, I was like, in something, I had that weird little chill on it to say, hey, go back to that starting spot. Go try that little canal, little edge of the canal. And sure enough, I pulled up there again, dude. Like the second cast, I caught like a 6. Next cast, I caught like a 5. And at that point on, I had like 22 pounds by like 9:30, and it was just insane. Every time I catch one, I'd be, thank you, Mama. And you know, and that was another thing going into it, was the motivation. You know, she passed away right before the season started. And that first tournament after she was gone, I ended up winning. You know, I'd love for her to have been there, but you know, I know she was there the whole time, and that's why I had the flower on my jersey and on my truck and boat. It's a gardenia, and like y'all got to see last night, I got a new tattoo. It's the gardenia flower right here, and it was her favorite flower, so now she'll always be with me. I still didn't think, you know, when I pulled into the check-in at that third day, I didn't even want to look at Bass Track whenever we were sitting there waiting, you know. I didn't want to know. And at that point, like, everybody was coming up to me, like, because I didn't realize I won by like 4 pounds. And like, I remember Carl, he was idling by me, and he was like, good job, mate, you got it, mate. Like, you really killed it. I'm like, man, I haven't looked at it yet, I don't know. And I just kept still not wanting to look, and then Brock came walking up, and he had that little chicken shit eating grin on his face. I mean, I hate saying it, but he had that little smirk. Like, he's like, damn, he just beat me at winning. And the coolest part about that whole experience is that the same year Brock wins his too, so that's pretty awesome. It's always that saying that control what you can control and do what you need to do to survive and to win, and that where it comes into your equipment. You know, I have everything on my boat is what I trust, and I would 100% sell it to anybody. My rod, reels, just baits, everything from electronics all the way to the boat. You know, I want something that's going to get me to the fish and back, and I love something that's going to take a smooth ride if it's choppy, and I love a boat that's going to pass up all the other boats, and that's why I love Phoenix. Tyler Rivet, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro, and I just finished my 5th year on tour.